Few things disrupt operations more quickly than a no-call, no-show. Whether it's a missed interview, a new hire training, an equipment certification, or the first day on the job, a single no-call, no-show can derail productivity, frustrate clients or supervisors, and ripple through the schedule of an entire shift. And it's not a new problem. It's just becoming more visible, more costly, and more accepted than it used to be. In the light industrial and warehouse world, we've learned to expect some, drop-off after maybe, week 1, and a few disappearances around day 30 or that 60-day mark. But lately, the trend has moved earlier, before the first paycheck is even cut. I'm Marty here with Warehouse and Operations as a Career, and today let's talk about why this may be happening and what companies and staffing agencies can do to reduce it. And it's not just on us as applicants. Traditionally, a no-call, no-show meant someone who failed to report to work without notifying their supervisor. In the staffing and HR generalist world today, the definition has expanded to interviews. Applicants who confirm a time but just never arrive. No call, no show to an orientation or training or PIT certifications. Candidates who complete onboarding paperwork but skip the class. And no call, no show on their boots on the ground or that start day. New hires who accept an assignment, get confirmed with the client, and never show up. And then you have the no-call, no-show after week 1 or month 2. Associates who vanish after that first full check or after the honeymoon period of the new job. Each version comes with its own cost, and unfortunately, many staffing agencies and employers are experiencing all 4. So why is this happening more often? I don't think there's a single answer, but several cultural, economic, and communication shifts may be at play. Here's a few of my opinions. I think the market has changed in many regions. Job seekers have options. A motivated worker can apply to multiple openings online and be scheduled for interviews within just a few hours. For entry-level light industrial roles, the barriers to applying are low, but the commitment required from the applicant is often equally as low. Some candidates see accepting an interview or training slot as just holding a place, not a firm commitment. If another offer appears first, they may never circle back to cancel. And I think digital communication has replaced accountability. A generation ago, a candidate would have to call a recruiter or manager directly. That conversation required a degree of respect and responsibility. Today, with texts, emails, and online scheduling portals, communication feels transactional. People can disappear silently. Recruiters tell stories of applicants who will text, "I'm on my way," and never show up or ghost them entirely after being offered the job. And I don't think it's always malicious. Often it's discomfort, anxiety, or simple avoidance. The human nature thing that I'm always talking about. And I think many no-call, no-show events can trace back to practical issues. Things like unreliable transportation, last-minute childcare cancellations, or fear of missing other financial opportunities. Warehouse work often starts early. Could require travel across town in some of our larger commercial complexes, and can be physically demanding. If a new associate isn't fully prepared for that reality or doesn't have stable, support, it's easier to just not show up than to face embarrassment or confrontation of any type. And for that first-time warehouse associate, the fear of failure can trigger avoidance. The thought of walking into a huge facility, operating equipment, or being surrounded by seasoned workers can intimidate some. Without encouragement or connection, what I call pre-orientation by the recruiter or hiring agent before day 1, anxiety will often win. Oh, and we can't ignore the gig economy stuff either. Many modern workers grew up in an environment where flexibility is prized. Take the job that feels right today and move on tomorrow if it doesn't. That attitude is at odds with the warehouse culture, where consistency, reliability, and teamwork are going to define success. Recruiters and supervisors sometimes assume everyone knows that, but in reality, the expectation has shifted for many, maybe most people. Let's see, where was I? Oh, here. And for employers, the cost is both direct and indirect. Wasted recruiting and onboarding time. Every no-call, no-show represents hours of effort spent sourcing, scheduling, and preparing, and all that ad spend. And then we have all the lost production. When one associate doesn't show up, others must cover and make up those hours. That may mean slower lines or overtime and disrupted morale. Consistent no-call, no-show patterns creates a lot of resentment among us reliable workers. And I think the big one for the agencies are the damaged client relationships. Each missed start can erode trust with the customer. When no-shows are expected and accepted as part of the game, accountability slowly erodes across the workforce. I don't think there's a perfect fix, but there are strategies that can help us reduce the early ghosting part. I think that human connection will always beat automation. Technology is efficient, but relationships create commitment. Like a personal phone call, not just a text or auto-generated reminder, can help establish a sense of accountability. Before orientation, have a recruiter or coordinator reconfirm details personally. Something like, we're excited to see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Do you still have that time free? Ask open-ended questions. How's your transportation looking? Or do you have everything you need for tomorrow? I think things like that can help. And we need to express confidence. Things like, we're counting on you. This is going to be a great fit. That kind of short conversation can turn a scary transaction into a relationship. And just another quick opinion, I think many candidates drop off because the process feels complicated, maybe too complicated. If the interview or onboarding system requires multiple logins or confusing links or long wait times, motivation is going to fade quickly. I think we have to streamline everywhere that we can. Maybe we can combine some paperwork steps, offer text-based confirmations, and reduce the time gap between application and start date whenever possible. Every extra day between yes, I'll take it, and show up at this time increases the chance of a no-show. And I think our light industrial work can sometimes be undervalued by the very people who rely on it most. A good recruiter should sell the value of the job, the stability, benefits, skill growth, and a path to permanent placement. Instead of saying, it's an entry-level position, say this is a get your foot in the door at one of the best distribution centers in town. Many of their full-timers started exactly where you're starting. When people feel the opportunity has meaning, they treat it seriously. Or so I believe. Let's see, what else did I jot down? I made so many side notes here. Text reminders the night before and morning of orientation or start date are simple but can be so powerful. And I think it's important to include a name and personal touch, not just a generic reminder. Like your shift starts at 6 a.m. Let's say something like, "Hi, Michelle, this is Chris from Belmar. Just checking that you're ready for your 6 a.m. start at ABC Distribution in the morning. They're looking forward to meeting with you." It sounds human, not robotic, and that makes all the difference in the world. Now, even when associates make it through orientation in their first week, retention remains a challenge. That's when the next round of no-shows can appear, often right after payday or around the end of the first month, or on those Mondays and Fridays. One of my mentors felt that the first 7 days are going to define the entire relationship. Supervisors should meet every new associate personally, learn their name, and make sure they know where to go and who to talk to. A simple "how's it going so far" check-in can uncover issues before they grow into a problem. An associate will share if given a chance to. Maybe things like transportation struggles, unclear expectations, equipment challenges, or confusion about pay or hours. People are far less likely to disappear when they feel someone notices their presence. Oh, and speaking of pay, one of the biggest frustrations new hires face and report on is misunderstanding their schedules or their pay deductions. If a worker expects to be paid Friday and learns midweek it's next Friday, frustration can turn into ghosting. It's important to review pay cycles during onboarding, confirm when direct deposits hit, and explain how to check those hours. I've always thought clarity builds trust. And don't wait for 90 days to recognize success. If a new associate shows up every day for the first week, mention it, talk about it, tell them I appreciate you being here every day this week. That's how great careers start. After week 1, week 4, and week 8, schedule short little check-ins. These don't have to be formal reviews, just conversations. You're doing well. Anything you'd like to learn next? Do you feel like the job fits your expectations? When workers know their performance is noticed, they may be less likely to vanish. And here's another opinion that some may disagree with. Reducing no-call, no-shows isn't just the recruiter's job or the employer's job. It's a shared responsibility. Recruiters or facility managers should stay in touch with supervisors, not just during placement, but throughout the first 30 days. A 2-minute catch-up can catch all kinds of red flags. Things like, he's been late twice. She mentioned childcare issues. They seem overwhelmed. I feel that agencies and clients that communicate closely can intervene early and prevent some of these walk-offs. Now, of course, all that only works if expectations are transparent. We must explain to candidates that showing up and performing reliably is what leads to full-time placement. And we should explain to clients that constructive feedback and inclusion help that associate feel part of the team. When both sides honor the spirit of the agreement, conversion rates are going to rise and no-call, no-show events are going to fall. I've always thought agencies should measure things like interview-to-show ratio, orientation, training, or PIT certification attendance rates in our day 1 no-call, no-show percentage and week 1 retention. Trends tell the truth. Data removes guesswork. And another thing to think about, sometimes the issue isn't attendance, it's alignment. If candidates continually no-call, no-show specific shifts, locations, or clients, that can be a signal. Maybe the pay doesn't match the physical demands, or the commute is too long. A better fit can reduce some of that ghosting. We all know the warehouse environment runs on reliability. Forklifts don't run themselves. Trucks don't get loaded and ship without people. And production doesn't flow when half the crew isn't there or doesn't show. Reducing no-call, no-show requires bringing back a sense of professional pride to even entry-level work. And I feel we can do that by emphasizing respect for the opportunity. Showing up means something. Stressing professionalism at every level. Warehouse associates are skilled tradespeople, not replaceable bodies. Treat communication as responsibility. If you can't make it, just say so. Sometimes it's as simple as teaching new workers what professional courtesy means in this industry. Many just haven't been taught. No-call, no-shows aren't going away entirely. People are people, and life is going to happen. But the frequency we see today isn't inevitable. I believe that when staffing agencies and employers build relationships instead of transactions, set clear expectations, and treat light industrial work as a career path instead of a placeholder, attendance is going to improve. At the end of the day, showing up is the first step to success in warehousing, in business, and in life. Let's make sure our teams, our associates, and our applicants know that their presence matters, because it truly does. Well, there's a lot more of my opinions on a very important topic. It's not all on us as applicants, and that's my 2 cents. And I want to thank you for stopping by, and I hope you'll visit again next week. Until then, be safe in all we do, as that is our priority 1, always.